Right. Well, with less than 30 minutes left in this International Women's Day. One day amongst the other 364 days, 65 for you leap year people, to which we're called to worship at the altar of Goddess Woman. If anybody remembers who said that, +5 for you. Anyway, International Women's Day, it's less than 30 minutes left, and I don't know how in the hell I came across this, but yeah, I took a glimpse at this and I'm like, this should be interesting, especially considering the title. So, I'm going to read through this and let's see if there's anything that you can learn from this. Yeah. So this comes from the Vintage News. I don't know when this. Okay, September 28, 2018, by Katie Vernon. Katie Vernon. Okay. This is titled "The Ugliest Woman in the World Had 20 Marriage Proposals but Loved Only One Man." So let just the title sink in of that. This is billed as the ugliest woman in the world, right? And considering that nothing new has come up, I'm willing to bet is probably the ugliest woman in recorded history or perhaps known history. Okay. And yet she had 20 marriage proposals. So even the ugliest woman in the world had dudes thirsty. Well, let me not say thirsty, but could get some. So what's the first thing we learned is that any woman can get banged. Interestingly enough, the fattest woman in the world, I don't know her name, but she had a boyfriend, so she could also get banged. She lost him, and then she went and won the lottery, and all of a sudden he was interested in her again. So, yeah, let all of that sink in. Let's keep going. Julia Pastrana was billed as the ugliest woman in the world, the bear woman, the link between mankind and orangutan, and the ape woman. She was born in 1834 in rural Mexico in the state of Sinaloa. Okay. Not sure if that's still around, but whatever. And was doomed from birth by her physical appearance to a life of dehumanization and denigration. She grew to just 4 feet and 5 inches tall, and except for the palms of her hands and the soles of her feet, Pastrana's body was covered with hair. She had a large nose and jaw and abnormally thick lips and gums, hence her nickname, the Ape Woman. Now, in this picture here, minus the head, like chop that off, it seems like she might have some tits on her. Who knows? Of course, there's no shots from the back, so you have no idea. But you know, whatever. That's neither here or there. Even though she had a rare congenital condition known as known as Whoa, hold on. Oh, Christ. Here we go. Let's try this. Acromegaloid hypertrichosis. Not going to repeat that. Syndrome. In the 19th century, Pastrana sparked people's curiosity and was exhibited for their Pastrana sparked people's curiosity and was exhibited for their entertainment. Okay, yeah, it does make sense. And was exhibited for their entertainment all around the world, while Victorian pseudoscientists claimed that she was a half human, half ape hybrid. Despite her gentle character, her talents for singing and dancing, and her ability to speak multiple languages, kind of wondering how she, way the hell back then, was able to, like, okay. Nobody saw further than the hair all over her body. People didn't see a human under her fur. Until the age of 20, Pastrana worked as a maid and entertainer in the house of a Mexican state governor who adopted her. Somehow she got in touch with M. Rates. She got in touch with M. Rates, an American showman. Yeah, I'm still a little bit sick. I'm almost completely over it, but still a bit sick. As you no doubt know from my last video. An American showman, and became a freak show star traveling around the US and Europe. Okay, so yeah, the freak show thing. That's how I remember how I found this. Some video came across my feed of, what is it, like, the curviest women in Africa or something, the curviest African women top 10 or something like that. And of course I clicked on it, and was clicking through the comments more than anything. And of course it brought up Sarah Bartman, and if anybody doesn't know who that is, feel free to go look that up. And she was also paraded around as a freak show, and somehow that led to this. Somehow I don't remember how I linked the two, but somehow that, anyway, that's how I got to this. Right. Freak show and star traveling around the US and Europe. Julia Pastrana was immensely popular, not only among audience who sought entertainment and amazement, but also among scientists and doctors who wished to study her. She was always advertised as half animal, with many people degrading her as an orangutan. Okay. Julia was very nice and polite person. Was a very nice and polite, but reading it word for word, Julia was very nice, or it could be very nice, comma, and a polite. Anyway, whatever. And polite person who enjoyed all the traveling, cooking, and sewing. She was also always willing to help the doctors puzzled by her appearance, and submitted herself to medical tests. Pastrana was a curious person who managed to learn and speak 3 languages, including English. Charles Darwin, oh boy, Charles Darwin described her as, quote, a remarkably fine woman, unquote, albeit with, quote, a thick masculine beard and hairy forehead, unquote. Okay. In the 1850s, Pastrana secretly married her manager, Theodore Lent. Many people believe that she was very fond of him, while Lent married her out of fear of losing his most famous star due to Pastrana's popularity. Well, now that's a freaking asshole thing to do. Like, okay. In one interview for the press, she declared to have turned down more than 20 marriage proposals because of the candidate's low financial status. Right, so while I'm sitting here about to get on this dude for his foolishness, and I actually glimpsed through this and he does a lot more fucked up shit, this one sentence right here, and I'll read it again. In one interview for the press, she declared to have turned down more than 20 marriage proposals because of the candidate's low financial status. And this was when? When was all this shit going on? Because she only lived to be about 26. This was in the 1800s. In the 1800s, the same shit was going on back then as right now. You need to have money. The ugliest woman in the world, on planet Earth, right? And I don't think anybody has managed to do better, to do worse than her. Even she was pick, choosing, and refusing, and was like, not saying I'm a gold digger, but I ain't messing with no broke. Now, of course, some fucked up stuff does happen to her, and I'm not good. But how the hell can 4'5", and height doesn't really matter to me, and probably not to any guy really, especially if you're just trying to bang. But yet, but not only that, the ugliest woman in the world, and yet she still manages to sit here and be beating dudes off. Holy shit. Wow, because of their low financial status, she's turning them down. How does that make you feel to get turned down by the ugliest woman on planet fucking Earth? Jesus H. And yet, she married and probably loved only Lent, the man who arguably degraded her more than anyone else. What are we learning from all of this? She turns down at least more than 20 dudes because of their low financial status, right? I'm guessing this Lent character had high financial status, and she decided to love and and marry, want to marry, agree to marry, whatever, the person who treated her the most like shit. Keep in mind, this is the 18 goddamn hundreds. Wow. There is nothing new under the sun. Oh, amazing how life is on repeat. Just wish when life repeats again that I remember the lottery numbers. In 1860, after giving birth to a baby boy. So, she not only is the ugliest woman in the world, she manages to beat off a million dudes, right? She marries some dude and she's still getting any woman can get banged. Let that sink in. Any woman can get fucked. The fattest woman in the world, go look her up wherever the hell she is. She well, okay, but this was some time back, like maybe mid 2000s or so, that I saw that the fattest woman in the world with the lottery ticket stuff. But she was able to get fucked. This is the ugliest woman probably in history, or at least in recent history, right? I I'm gonna say until proven otherwise, human history, planetary history, right? Uh, and she's getting fucked. Some dude busted balls deep in her 4'5" ass. Okay, let that sink in. I don't know if guys are able to say this the exact same thing. Who's the ugliest dude on planet Earth that ever lived, and was he getting any pussy? But whatever. Okay. After giving birth to a baby boy, Julia and her son both died. Now that's unfortunate. Not going to say anything bad there. That is unfortunate. Julia's, I mean, because also her being 4'5" and then pregnant. God forbid that kid is like a normal size. Like he doesn't, whatever genetic conditions or whatever doesn't pass on. So she's 4'5" with a gigantic belly. Jesus, must be bedridden or something. But despite that, still, it's unfortunate that they both died, that any of them died. Julia's last words on her deathbed were, quote, "I die happy. I know I have been loved for myself." Unquote. That is very sad. Unfortunately, she was dehumanized in death as she was in life. Lent sold the bodies of Julia and her son to a Russian anatomy professor named Sokolov, who embalmed and publicly displayed them. When Lent found out, he did everything to regain control over the bodies. He didn't want his wife being degraded in death. You'd think. I did skim over this. So that he could profit from displaying them. And this is what she loved. She loved the asshole. She loved the all the other dudes she turned down. And they married her. She turned them down, so they must have at least liked, if not loved her. But she picks this motherfucker. Why? Well, she said it herself, because everybody else had low financial status. So because money, even back in the 18 fucking hundreds and probably earlier, because money, you can do whatever the fuck you want to women, and they let you, and that's that. This isn't her being forced to do this. She's willingly choosing to do this. As most, if not all, women are willingly choosing to this very day. They will turn down the guy that worships the toilet that they have explosive Taco Bell late night hit or miss explosive diarrhea in to go and suck and fucking get married and whatever the hell to the guy that went and beat them with a sledgehammer, threw acid in their face. Okay. He exhibited the bodies of his wife and son in glass cabinets all around the world. And then he met Marie Bartel, a woman who suffered from the same rare condition as Julia. Huh. Where the hell is he finding these people? What the hell condition was that back then that it was supposedly so rare, yet this man was lucky enough to find two women with the exact same shit? Huh. Alright. And no Middle Eastern jokes. No Middle Eastern jokes. Shit, I know how this comment section can get. Who suffered from the same rare condition as Julia, and who also resembled her. So Len sought money in that too. After marrying Bartel, he hid the embalmed bodies, renamed Bartel as Zenora Pastrana, and exhibited her as Julia's sister. After Bartel's death, he returned to exhibiting the embalmed bodies. Someone stole the bodies from Lent, and they were later disposed of in Norway. I'm trying to figure out how the hell bodies, alive, dead, whatever the hell, are just getting transported like that all over the world, and nobody's noticing. I mean, yes, okay, the 1800s, late 18, early 19, fine. But still, like, nobody's like, what the hell are you doing with this isn't Egypt, why y'all got mummies here? I don't know. In Norway in 1967, they were finally recovered by the police and kept in storage in the university in Oslo until 2005. Then the Mexican artist Lauren Anderson Barbata brought Julia's body back to Mexico. She told the New York Times, quote, "I felt she deserved the right to regain her dignity and her place in history and in the world's memory," unquote. Finally, on February 12th, 2013, Julia Pastrana was buried and laid to rest. For anybody who's wondering what happened to the body of the boy, I read through the comment section of this, or skimmed through it. I don't see it here, but on my phone, I saw a comment section, and apparently one person said that she read somewhere that some kids got a hold of the boy's body and disposed of it in a field to where it got ripped apart by animals. So yeah, okay. So, not meaning to shit on International Women's Day, especially with it only having 5 minutes left, but I really must know, what have we learned from this, right? What have we learned from this? Anyway, you all leave your thoughts. You all leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I have my thoughts, and eh, leave your thoughts. Leave your thoughts. When International Men's Day rolls around, I don't think I'll be finding anything like this because chances are it's just going to be another day that, well, a day that was supposed to be for men that is instead going to somehow have women crowbarred into it as thank you, women, for being men as well as women. Anyway, later.